Yeah, okay. All right, file replication. And hopefully finish up this chapter soon. The idea is that you want to have multiple files, copies of the same file in case it all goes down. So if one server goes down with a file, at least you'll have another one somewhere else. So yeah, replica the same file, reside on failure-independent machines. Hopefully this will improve your availability in case the machine goes down. Of course, the issue here, first off, naming, but secondly, an update now has to go to multiple machines when you are having a replica. Well, we got demand replication. Reading a non-local replica causes it to become cached locally, thereby generating a new non-primary replica. All right, sure. Okay. Lastly, they're going to go through an example of what a distributed file system looks like. In the book, they chose the Andrew file system, which is a very common academic file system to study when you're doing distributed file systems. Started in 83. You all remember the 80s, right?
Good times.
Okay, good. Good times. Good times. So it's trying to solve all...
Toddler years, man.
What?
My toddler years, those were good times.
Those were good times, yeah. Tries to solve basically all the issues we talked about, including server-side caching and keeping high availability, and it can span thousands of different machines. Clients have a partition of files. They have their local space and a shared space. You have servers called Vice. Present the name, space, and clients as a homogeneous identical location. Okay, great. Excuse me. Local namespace is the root file system of the workspace, while workstations run in the Virtue protocol to communicate with the device in order to come up with the extra files. Servers collectively are responsible for the storage. So you're going to have multiple servers out there to serve all the different files in the file system.
Cool.
Awesome. They communicate over LAN. Nowadays, you just think Ethernet. So a cluster consists of workstations and a cluster server that's connected with backbone. So you can think of this as each server has its group of workstations that work under it. Andrew does whole file caching. You don't cache part of the file, you cache the file in its entirety. Opening a file causes it to be cached on your local disk. So AFS, that's Andrew file system, in case you didn't catch that. Volumes are small component units associated with the files. So it has a file ID, which has the volume number, the vnode number, aka where it is in your inodes, and then I love this word, the uniqueifier. Reuse of vnode numbers, thereby keeping certain data. Sure. FID is location transparent, so file movements from server to server does not invalidate the cache. All right, location information is kept on volume basis and it's replicated to the server. Okay, great. So files are entire files. Well, Andrew caches entire files from the servers. Right. Client workstation interacts with the Vice servers only when opening and closing. So it's not a write-through policy because you're only going to interact with the servers when you're done with the file. The Venus was that cache files from the Vice when they're open and stored modified copies back when they are closed. So reading and writing is done by the kernel, caches contents for symbolic links if necessary, exceptions, cache files are modifications to directories that are made directly responsible for the directory. Okay, basically it's a write-back policy with your servers. They implemented on Unix because that's pretty much what they had in the 80s. Unix did all the low-level storage. The client actually would be agnostic of what it was looking at. All right. The cache on your system had the status and the data. And was the least frequently used algorithm to keep each of the item bound in size. All right. And you can look at the stat. All right. I'm not really grading you on this thing. Okay, we're done.
Woo!
Yeah. Any questions really on distributed file
What's the
systems?
difference between Venus, Virtue, and Vice?
I think you could look that one up if you wanted to.
Maybe find a nice little Venn diagram.
Yeah, we should have a nice little Venn diagram for that. Vice are your servers. What was it? Venus and what was the other one?
Virtue.
Virtue. Virtue are your workstations.